Hello, everyone. You're listening to Heart to Heart with Saima, the podcast show for people searching for that courageous person within us who wants to be inspired by listening to stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm Saima Dillon, your host. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here. So let's dive right in. Jonaed brings a unique flair to the career consulting world. He is set on shattering the stigma associated with hiring people without college degrees. It's no surprise that he founded nodegree.com, a platform with job listings that don't require college degrees. And without waiting anymore, I'm going to bring Jonaed on. Good afternoon, Jonaed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing amazing.
You know, guests who come on my show and they just dial in just a minute before, they always give me anxiety, but except for once, usually everyone makes it.
Yeah. Now, sorry. Just I had a meeting that ended at 4:55, and he talked for like an extra 2 minutes. So
You
I
like to live
apologize.
on the edge, right?
Look, yeah. I live on the edge. Like I quit my job. I used to be an actuary. I quit my job, cashed out my retirement. So I live on the edge.
Whoa. So how is that feeling to be doing what makes you happy and to break stereotypes, and that's what you're doing with how you're fulfilling your dream. You're breaking a huge stereotype right here.
Yeah. So I'll give you an honest answer. So it's a mix of everything. Right? Like a
Mhm.
lot of people are gonna say, "Hey, I'm so happy I get to do what I want," and I am really happy that I get to do what I want.
Yeah.
But in order to do what you want, you have to make a lot of sacrifice. So it's not like, "Hey, when I did it, I didn't make money for 18 months." Right? So imagine, like I left, I was making 85K, and
Mhm.
I didn't make anything. I barely made anything. Just a couple $100 doing little things here and there.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I am at a position where now I am, I have replaced my salary. I am making money. So it's one of those things. There's a trade off. And for my personality, it makes me really happy. It's not for everyone. But for me, I couldn't have imagined it any other way.
So how about we give you the platform to introduce yourself, and we give you that full screen. Here you go.
Yeah, so I get the full screen. Bear with me. My name is Jonaed Iqbal. I help people without college degrees find meaningful jobs that pay well. I'm the founder of NoDegree.com and host of the No Degree podcast, where I interview people without college degrees and have them share their stories. I also have a virtual events company that I started at the beginning of last year, where I help companies host engaging virtual conferences. Have you been to a boring conference, online? I'm pretty sure you have. We're the ones that kind of make it fun and actually make it exciting so you can actually talk to your peers in engaging settings. So I really want to change the stigma attached to people without college degrees. I think the college degree is overpriced and it's overemphasized. I think there's so many talented people who don't have college degrees, and college isn't the answer for everyone. So that's what I want to do with NoDegree.com, and that's what I am doing. And I really want to help people achieve their dreams, get their dream careers.
So, Junaid, I think one of the things that as a parent I experience is when you meet people, and the first question people want to know what your kids are doing, which colleges they are
Yeah.
studying in, and what is happening in their life, and experiencing that when I actually read your profile, and I read that you are doing this, encouraging people even without degrees to go out and to flourish and to break that stereotype. Because I think one thing that we learned during COVID was the fact that so many colleges and universities were at the brink of that redundancy, because kids were home, they were working, functioning from home, working from home, and a lot of universities, colleges were having a difficult time sustaining.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know
so
what they didn't have a difficult time doing? charging the same prices.
Yes, absolutely.
They didn't even, I don't even think they budged, right? And it's
They did
sad.
not. They did not. But I do feel, I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, yeah, the math class that we went through, the things that we learn in math, or a lot of other subjects, or history, or geography, or you know so much of it has never ever been used again.
Yeah.
I have a finance degree from UT Arlington here, and so much of it I never ended up using. So, based on that and what you're promoting, what made you, what made you get into this no degree? What initiated that? Because you yourself have a master's. So,
Yeah.
what initiated that?
So look, the thing is, look, I went to Columbia, right? So I always went to my high school is a top 20 high school in the nation. I had to test in undergrad. I went to, regular university. I did well, right? I graduated, but I graduated with like I won awards, right? And then I went to Columbia. But at every point, I I learned outside of school too. School wasn't the only place where I learned. And you look, I'm Bengali, same thing. Oh, what school do you go to? What school do you go to? And I saw that there were plenty of people who went to good schools, but then you have kids who cheat on school, kids who don't have good character despite having good grades. And I just didn't like how people were judged just by their grades. Also, when I went to Columbia, I realized how wealthy these kids were. These kids had tutored their whole lives. Their parents are paying $5,000 to $7,000 a month rent for their apartments. Meanwhile, I'm over here tutoring for some gas money, hoping that I can save some money and I can pay tolls so I have some extra time to sleep, right? So a lot of people don't realize that a lot of people who come from, who go to great schools, they have huge amounts of support, parental support. Like think about what it takes to become a doctor, right? Yes, grades are everything, but now it's like you need to shadow a doctor. If you're poor, you don't have any doctor to shadow. If you work in finance, if you don't have a referral, if you look at a lot of these interns, they got the internship. Oh, my father knows someone, my cousin knows someone, my uncle knows someone. So if you don't have this, you're kind of stuck. And now the other thing is, what if you come from a family situation where you can't afford to go to college? Your father passes away, your mother passes away. You got to support the family, you got to work. Are you any dumber? Are you any less hardworking than someone?
Yeah.
No, and I think it shouldn't define you. And the fact is, it's just way too expensive. The same degrees that were only a fraction of the price. Even the college textbooks cost more than tuition did back in the day. That's preposterous. So, and there's so many new careers that are out there. Like if you look at one of the most competitive fields, software engineering is one of the most competitive fields, and you have these people who are making crazy salaries, and they deserve it, and they don't have college degrees. So why do you gatekeep all these other industries? Like think about it. The smartest software engineer, they blow the people in finance out the water, right? Like the people who are top software engineer, right? They build these systems. They understand a lot of things. So why is it that someone can go into software engineering, make, 3, 4, 5, 600K, but they can't break into finance for a 60K entry level degree because they don't have a degree? It's like ridiculous, right? So
Yeah.
I just didn't like that. And a lot of things in finance, like, look, I worked in finance. Majority of people in finance don't know Excel. You don't need a college degree to learn Excel. You just spend a couple hours. So I'm all about if someone can do the job, why require the degree, right? And why would you hire someone who has a degree if they can't do the job, right? At the end of the day, if I hire someone for a job, I ask them, can you do the job? You can do the job, good. That's really all that matters. Why does it matter what school you went to, how you grew up, what you got on this test? At the end of the day, there's no test for a client. You talk to the client, you work with them, you have to have good communication skills. You don't learn communication skills in school. You can be the best student and be terrible with clients. You can be terrible with people. So I just think that you got to be open to all types. Now I'm not anti-school. If you know what you want to do, you're not going to pay a lot. Go to school, right? If that works for you. But I'm anti leaving out a whole demographic that can contribute a lot to society, but they're never given a chance.
Absolutely. And, literally on that note, so I'm originally from Pakistan, and whenever, like, I was in Pakistan in March, and when I was in Pakistan, I was meeting these different kids in different areas of the society, and I was telling them that don't sit focused on what your school is giving to you or what you're learning from that school environment, because the whole world has changed, and literally education and opportunities are on your fingertips. It's up to you what you feel you can take from the universe, what the universe is giving you, because all education is out there.
Yeah.
Literally everything is on YouTube, everything is on Google, everything is there for you to access, for you to learn. Yes, you've got to have the drive, you have to have the initiative, so that you can figure out what it is that you're passionate about, and then just go for it.
Yeah, and then there's so many industries that it's like sales, marketing, technology. You know, sometimes you can take a cheap, like people, you look at this, people go to boot camp 6 months and they come out making 60, 70, 80, 100K, right? Meanwhile, people go to 4 year degrees and they come out and they work at Starbucks, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like at some point you have to think about schools are in the business of education. You're in the business of your own life. You have to figure out what's the best decision for you, because I know people 100K in debt and they're working a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
Why? What was the point? You could have worked that job at 18. And then what happens is you get some people who go through the degree and they realize like, oh, I don't want to be a lawyer. But they went to law school, they did all this stuff. So I'm a big fan of the apprenticeship model to get your feet wet, see if this is right for you. I've seen so many people, they go and they can't, they want to be pre-med, they want to be a doctor, they do a rotation or, you know, some volunteer work and they don't like blood.
Yeah.
You know, it's just dumb. It's just dumb that they've invested so much time. You know, if only they could. I'm a big fan of the apprenticeship model. You know,
Yeah.
really going into the career, and I find a lot of education is so far removed from the actual career that it kind of sucks, right? You're kind of being deceived.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, I think the age that we are living in, you have the opportunity to, no matter where in the world you are, no matter what you're doing, you have to be, I don't know if street smart is the right word,
You have to be
or you
life
have to be
smart, life
life
smart. I
smart
don't
or
know.
internet savvy. You have to be perhaps internet savvy, computer smart. And if you are that and you know where you need to go, I think sky's the limit. You can achieve anything. I mean, look at this. Look at the LinkedIn platform, right?
Yeah,
The opportunity is there. The kind of the quality of people. I mean, LinkedIn at one time used to be this really kind of this cold
yeah, yeah,
platform, right? You had to be suited and you had to be all prim and proper and everything, right? But in the past few years, the way LinkedIn works, it has completely changed.
yeah,
And now these amazing relationships are being cultivated on LinkedIn. And like for myself, right? I've been a real estate. I've been doing real estate for 16 years, but my passion is this what I do on my podcast right here,
yeah,
which has absolutely nothing to do with real estate. And I'm connected to people who are connected to real estate, but then I'm connected to a whole bunch of people who are just humanitarians and who are out there changing lives and touching lives, and just throwing good out into the universe, and just creating this ripple effect of goodness, right?
yeah. I mean, that's the beauty. It's like I think like we have to really change our approach to careers, because so many people think like I'm going to study this and get this career, but they don't ask why. You know, and this is a sad thing. I'll talk to a lot of college students. Oh, what do you want to be? Investment banker. Why? Oh, they make a lot. You know, it's a good
Yeah.
career. Why is it a good career? Oh, because they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Why do you want to make a lot of money? Oh, so I can do real estate. Right? I've seen a lot of people. So I was like, if you could make a lot of money and do real estate earlier, wouldn't you want to do that? They're like, yeah. So I said, you don't want to become an investment banker. You actually want to do real estate. You know, I asked these people, why do you want to do this? Oh, I want to be a doctor. Why do you want to do this? A doctor. Why? I want to help people. I was like, well, if you can help people another way, would you? Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to be a doctor. You're going to find help. You know, so a lot of, you
Yeah.
just have to ask the student why twice, and they're all of a sudden, they're like confused. Like, no career counselor. No, their parents haven't even done that. And this is the sad thing. Like, you got to go down to the why. Like, why do you want to do this, right? Like, why do I want to do nodegree.com? I want to change the stigma attached to people without degrees. I want to increase opportunity to people, right? And nodegree.com was the best way to do that, right? It's what I love doing. But so many people, I ask people why twice all the time. They don't have a good answer. And it's like, your college didn't do this, despite you paying 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a year. You didn't think of asking yourself that. Your parents didn't tell you, like, hey, before you take out this loan and delve into your career, and I think a lot of parents are doing their children a disservice that so much. It's like my mom, oh, what school does this person go to? What school does, like, one of the kids, she used to be like, oh, be like this person. The person doesn't even take care of their parents. So, they went to the best schools, but what does it matter, right?
Yeah.
They don't even take care of their parents. It doesn't mean anything. And I think, like, one of the best kids I know doesn't have a college degree, but if I needed help, I'm gonna call him first, right? It's not like when I call someone for help, oh, I need to call a Harvard guy to come help me. It's like, no, I
Yeah.
need to call someone who's willing to, who's a friend. So I think we need to really look at people on a deeper level.
Absolutely. So, what was that turning point in your career where you were making 85 grand? What was that point? What was that light that
So look,
went off?
the light existed the whole time,
Yeah.
right? So I was always an entrepreneur. I was always a helper, and I have my friends are also helpers, right? So they help me a lot, and they help people a lot too. So I found nodegree.com in 2014. I was in grad school. I was in the second semester, right? Now, unfortunately, I didn't come from a rich family, so I had to sort of get a job, and it was more for my parents to think that I'm not a total. My parents is just typical Desi parents, don't know what I do, and just like, hey, you need to have a good job. So I did that, but I also needed time, right? I need to learn the business model. I need to learn that. So I spent a couple of years just reading, learning a lot about marketing, SEO, digital marketing, advertising, content creation, content marketing, all these things, sales, right? And I learned it all through online, all through reading books, all through forums and comments. And then eventually I came to a point, I was like, all right, I know the business model. I know how I'm going to make money. I know how I'm going to grow the site. Then eventually it came to a point in 2018. I had enough. I worked a job. So I quit my actuarial job because you need to study hundreds of hours for each exam. I was like, I'd rather put this hundreds of hours into my business. So I switched that. Then eventually I had a job. I had another job. And eventually I came to the point I was like, I know everything I need to do. There's so much I need to get done. I'm not going to make progress unless I quit my job. Now, thankfully, look, I live at home. So again, that's another thing, right? The sacrifice you have to make. And it's not a bad sacrifice, right? Like, I have a home. I don't have to worry about things. But that's one of the reasons I was able to quit my job. A lot of people are not upfront. You see a lot of these entrepreneurs, and I know a lot of entrepreneur stories that they post online and it's not real, right? Mine is not too much of a struggle. I lived at home. Thankfully, my parents are in a decent situation. I can help out. I quit my job, and I didn't make money for 18 months, right? But eventually I came to a point, actually someone from LinkedIn, he was like, hey, you should start writing resumes. And that's when I started making money. And then it just grew from there. Then I started this virtual event company. And then just last week, I got someone in an interview for a principal architect at Google without a college degree, right? And I got someone else who was unemployed, a job at Google, a contractor role paying 100K. He had a college degree though, but it's just these things, right? And I really love it, right? Because I was doing, spreadsheets and all this stuff. And it was like, look, in corporate, it just, I don't know. For me, corporate is soul sucking. I'm not a morning person. I like working. I like waking up later in the day. I typically wake up like 12 to 2 p.m., but I sleep later. And it's like, that works for me. If I told corporate, hey, can I come in later? They're just going to be like, hey, you're lazy. You don't wake up at 6 a.m. And it's like, I'd rather work on a schedule that works for me. So that, just a lot of the things, it just pushed me in this direction.
So you're living life the way you want to live your life, and you. I have a so without going into how my age, I have a 20-year-old and I have a
Yeah.
16-year-old, and I can tell you that you started in 2014 when you were going through grad school, and I in 2016 started to change my life, and
Yeah.
started studying digital marketing, and started studying how to change my own dynamics
Yeah.
for my work, for my life, just to change,
Yeah.
create my own brand in the way that works for me, put myself authentically out there, and at the end of the day, be very true to myself and live a life where I'm not answerable or living a life which is based on other people's expectations, but live a life based on what makes, what truly resonates with me. So I think, that's what this that's what really interested me about what you're doing, is the fact that these opportunities are there. It's a matter of what are you, wanting to do with your life, and the skills are out there for you to be able to enhance yourself, even without going to college, if that is something you're not wanting to do.
Yeah, and then here's the thing. I'm an advocate for education and learning. So
Yeah.
a lot of people think like, hey, just because no degree, I'm read books, learn from others, watch YouTube, take these online college classes that are Coursera has so many free courses. So
Yeah.
read the news, read publications, read industry publications, do all these things that, you know, if you don't have a college degree, you must work hard. There's no way around working hard, because here's the thing, if you don't have a college degree, most often people won't give you the benefit of the doubt and you have to prove yourself. So make sure you prove yourself and show that you belong in the same rooms as these people. And you work in real estate. I see a lot of real estate jobs that said must have college degree. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
If you know buildings, you know the inspection, you know the codes, you know all these things, you know the formulas, you know the cap rates, right, all these things, right? You deserve to sort of be in there.
I think they do that because in order to get your real estate license, you have to have a high school diploma.
No, high school diploma is okay, but I'm talking about, it says college degree. High school
Yeah.
diploma, you should always get, the
I think
GED.
that's yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's what you need, your GED, to get your
Yeah,
real estate license. And then no matter what you want to do in your life, I feel that you this time and age that we are living in, this is that time which will give you the opportunities that you're looking for. But you have to know that, if in order to get from, point one to point A to point B, it's not just that one route. It might be a bit more tricky to
yeah.
get you, there, but there are ways for you to do it.
And that's the beauty of life. There are many roads to success. And what you have to do is you have to find the road to success that's right for you. For some people, that's entrepreneurship. For some people, that's getting a job. For some people, it's a small business. For some people, right, there are many ways. And I just want people to figure out what's right for you, right? Don't copy me. Don't copy, you. Figure out what's right for yourself.
Because everyone is different and there's something different for everyone, right? So Junaid, in your these 18 months that you have worked on redefining yourself.
No, it's longer than that. So 18 months was when I didn't make money.
Okay.
That was, so let's see, 2018 quit. I started making money beginning of 2020, right? So it's been, yeah, I guess 20 months, right? 20 months of making money. But
Okay.
it's been, almost 3 years since I quit. I actually quit of August 2018. So it's 3 years of just being full time in the business.
And experimenting, right? I
Yeah,
mean, it's not easy being an entrepreneur. It's
no,
very difficult
it's
being an
so
entrepreneur.
look, it's easy for me to be an entrepreneur
Yeah.
because that's how I've always been wired. I was always like flipping things. I used to sell sneakers in high school. I used to like
Yeah.
buy things to sell cell phones. I used to do all that. So for me, it's how I'm wired. For other people, it's stressful, right? Like for me, I'm always thinking like, oh, when I look at something, when I look at content, I'm thinking about how they created it. What was their intention? Why did they structure it this way? How can I do it for my own business? Some people don't like thinking like that. Some people like consuming. And so it's like for everybody has something different that works for them.
Different.
Like, for example, this live stream, it's not like after the end of the live stream, I'm like super tired. It's like, then I'm on to the next thing. Then I'm on to the next
Yeah.
thing. I think I have another live stream. No, I'm doing a resume after this, then a podcast after this, then I
Yeah.
got a meeting at night. But I like the things I do. I get to focus on the things I like doing.
Yeah.
And right, whereas other people may not like that.
And I completely understand because, even for myself, I've become so resilient now that I think I'm now, there's change. I need change. I'm always ready
Yeah.
to try new things. I'm always ready to learn new things, meet with different people, see what people are doing. And,
And
you know,
yeah, some people don't like change, right?
yes.
Some people, look, for some people, they don't, if they got paid like 50 or $100 an hour to pack boxes all day, send them off, right? For me, I do it make the money, and I'm thinking about the next business. I would think about
What to
how
do
can I get
next?
someone else to pack the boxes for me, give them some money, and do my
Yeah.
own thing. Right? That's how I'm gonna think. So everybody has something right for them.
And that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
that's okay for them to do. That's it's okay
Yeah.
for you to. But the thing is, to be an entrepreneur or to be someone who is wanting to experiment with life without a degree, college degree, you have to be ready to, you have to be resilient, and you have to
Yeah.
be ready to take the chances which life sends your way, and you have to be ready to jump and, experiment and learn.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, look, the startup world. It's all about experimenting, failing, thinking something's gonna work out, something doesn't, but then some other thing works out that you couldn't expect it. Right? If you ask me when I quit my job, would I be doing resumes? I'd be like, what are you talking? Why? I don't know. It seems so boring. But now it's like, I actually enjoy. Like, I talk to people. I get to learn about their careers. I get to do amazing things. I get to help people get raises. Like, the other week, I helped someone get a $62,000 raise. Like, can you be like $64,000 raise? Like, they were making 32K. They got a job that paid 96K. So it was like, wow. It makes me so happy. It's like I helped them do that, right? They did their work, but I facilitated that. So that made I like that.
So share us a success story of that just really made your day, that just gave you such an immense high.
So this is something. So one of the first resumes, right, I did for someone is they lost their job, they're unemployed. They actually had a couple of family situations like debts in the family, so they were struggling. So I helped them out with their resume. They got they didn't get the first one, and then they got a job at Tesla as a solar roofer. And then look, they've been there well over a year, and they paid off. They got the overtime. They have a good job. And it was just interesting, like seeing the shift. Right now, he's like, look, I paid off my debt. I can do this with my kids and all that. And the person didn't have a college degree, and I just saw how happy, and they've been so supportive of me. And it just like I have so many of those stories of like people who are unemployed and they thought they had no shot. Right, this person who I helped get into Google, they were talking about, hey, I only have like 2 months of money left or something like that. I need to get something. And they're ready to drop like 5K. Like they're ready to pay someone 5K. I was like, no, 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 I'll help you. And they were friends, so I helped them out. And then they got a job at Google. So, it's just the power of like knowing how to help people and help them find jobs. It's like a skill that a lot of people don't really know how to do. Right. And once you know it, like just this past week, there was a kid, good resume. Look, good resume. He was like, I only got a few interviews, right? I applied to hundreds. And then I was like, all right, make these changes, right? Do XYZ. And then all of a sudden, they got 2 offers this week, right? And it's just like, same thing, like, like real estate. It's like sometimes you say, hey, do these upgrades and you're going to increase the value of your house like by like 50,000, right? Do XYZ, right? Because you
Yeah.
have that experience and you're like, wow, you got your client X amount of more money, you get this, you made tangible impact. So for me, it's like, and it gives some validation, like, all right, I know what I'm doing, right? I've done this enough. So now it's like I'm very comfortable. And again, I'm working with so many different types of people, helping like sort of minorities and women candidates sort of break into careers, right? Because a lot of times they face other issues that a lot of guys don't. So helping them break into great companies, helping them get raises, and it just, again, the impacts, then they kind of help their friends, they get their friends in, and it's a good feeling.
It's also the law of karmic balance, right? What you put out there is what is going to come back to you. And what I've also experienced is that sometimes if you desperately need for something to come to you in your life, you need to start just giving it.
Yeah, the more
You
you
start
give,
giving,
look,
yes,
the more I give, the more I receive.
yeah.
And it's something that like, look, I've done over 300 resumes. I probably did over 100 for free, right? And I've always given people like, look, if you need 10 to 15 minutes to have time on a schedule, I'll give you 10 to 15 minutes, right? Now it's like if you want to work with me, that's when it's like, hey, we got to spend a couple hours. Then that's when I charge. But I always make sure that I always leave them with something that at least, look, point them in the right direction to increase their opportunity.
Absolutely. So, Junaid, what would you like to share with my audience, or what words of wisdom would you like to share with my audience before we sign off?
It's okay to fail, and it's okay. to not know exactly what you want to do at this point in time. It's a journey, right? Like it took me, look, I'm 30 years old. It took me a good, like 4 or 5 years to really figure myself out, to
Yeah.
figure out what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, what I like doing. Because again, you go through this thing, and a lot of times you believe, oh, you're supposed to get a job, you're supposed to wake up at this time, you're supposed to do this, but then you really don't, right? You just got to figure out what system works right for you, what system makes you happy, and figure out how you can incorporate it into your life. Like, look, I wasn't a morning person, and I'm still not. When I was working corporate, I was late to work every single day. Mornings, it's like I've struggled morning all my life. Now I don't do mornings, but I'm up at 2 3 a.m. and I'm sharper than anyone at that time. I'm not a 6 7 a.m. person. I'm not a 10 a.m. person. I'm not even an 11 a.m. person.
Yeah.
But I figured out a way to have it work for me. So it's okay to be different. Find out the environment that you operate best in, and then figure out how you can make it happen for you, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want people to really know, that there's every setting is not right for you, but the setting that's right for you, find that setting, figure out how to make it happen, and you'll be so happy and so much more productive.
See, one of the things is, I think, especially in our culture, that when kids are growing up, they are surrounded by all these voices and
Yeah,
so much noise, and everyone's expectations, everyone who's around you, their opinions, their
yeah,
expectations, because parents want kids to fulfill their dreams.
yeah,
When the thing is, you have come into this world to fulfill your own dreams.
yeah,
But parents don't realize that, and I'm guilty, I'm firsthand guilty of doing that with my daughter, and then learned the real hard way. But the thing is, parents don't understand that, you need to let your child be. You're supposed to give them a framework and a
yeah,
basic structure, but they are supposed to fill in and find what makes them jive and live, move towards their goals and paths. And also something so important, for people to realize what you said earlier, that we have come into this world and we don't know, so we are going to make a lot of mistakes, and we are going to continue making mistakes, and your mistakes and your failures teach you lessons.
yeah. No, you look, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail a lot. Just make sure you can recover from your failures, right? But failures, you learn through your failures, right? At the
You
end of the
do.
day, you have to fail to become a better person, and you have to fail to know what you're not good at. Like I failed in some things, and I'm like, okay, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that. But once you find a few things you succeed in and you do them well, that's it, right? You only need to
Yeah.
succeed in a few things.
Because that's what it's all about, right? Failures actually are stepping stones, and
Yeah,
we don't realize that, right? It's like, you think you're meant to just make the perfect decisions and take the perfect steps, and then here's the grand finale, and you've reached the top. But life does not work that way, and I think it's okay for us to learn from failing, and to accept failures just as stepping stones, and be resilient and find the courage to just get up, learn, cut your losses, and just keep moving forward.
yeah. Just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, Junaid, I do appreciate you, and thank you for being on my show. I appreciate you being here, and I hope we can touch lives together. And I wish you all the very best in your adventures and in your ventures.
No, thank you so much for having me. I want to thank, everybody, Glitch Zone, Ume, Habiba, all the people that commented, and even for the ones that didn't, that just viewed. I hope you got some value out of it. If you want to follow me, connect with me on LinkedIn, Jonaed Iqbal. You can find me. You see my name, Jonaed. I'm the host of the No Degree podcast, so check that out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all your favorite channels. And if you want to support, visit nodegree.com and send me a connection on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect.
Well, Junaid, thank you for being here, and wishing you all the best in everything you do. And I'm going to remove you from the stream so I can end the show. And friends, thank you all for being here. and for taking the time out to hear what was shared on today's podcast with Jonaed Iqbal. You can connect with him on LinkedIn. And if we have inspired you into taking the next step in your journey, then I would love for you to email me at vip@saimadillon.com and let's connect. Of course, if the podcast episode, if you feel it can help someone, give someone courage, give someone hope, then let's change lives together. Just take 30 seconds to share the link to the podcast in a text or a post on social media, and I will be so grateful. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching Heart to Heart with